How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and the FTC has lost. It is done. They have lost the appeal. Judge Corley about 20 minutes ago revealed her verdict, and it is done. They have lost on all accounts, and the way she has done it, Microsoft can close as of this Friday. She even reduced the time duration that the FTC has by a day to actually appeal. And in my opinion, based on what we've seen, it's a slam dunk. It's a whitewash. They failed on every single account. It's pretty much a game over situation for the FTC, and I don't see them appealing. If they appeal at this point, that is going to be purely out of spite. There is nothing else there for them, and the appeal will most likely get thrown out. But the chances of the appeal going through before Microsoft has the opportunity to close is unlikely. So I think this Friday, the ABK deal will close. And let's get on with the actual video, because there's a lot of stuff to get through. Florian is really fast at posting his tweets at the moment, so I'm going to cover a bit of what it is, and then once he's finished his escapade of tweets going through that 53-page document mammoth, I'll make a follow-up video to this one to go through those as well, because it's very interesting, especially from the little bits that I've read. So if you do find this useful, and if you're happy, consider hitting that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you in just a second. Right, so first up we have Phil Spencer himself, and he says, "We're grateful to the courts for swiftly deciding in our favor. The evidence showed the Activision Blizzard deal is good for the industry, and the FTC's claims about console switching, multi-game subscription services, and cloud don't reflect the realities of the gaming market. Since we first announced this deal, our commitment to bringing more games to more people on more devices has only grown. We've signed multiple agreements to make Activision Blizzard games, Xbox first-party games, and Game Pass all available to more players, and they are today. We know that the players around the world have been watching this case closely, and I am proud of our efforts to expand player access and choice throughout this journey." Mike Ybarra, I know it wasn't your fault. You kind of had to say that it ain't happening, but my dude, it's happening. Diablo 4 is going on Game Pass. Not for the UK though, but for everywhere else around the world. But it's happening. Excited this ended the way it did. Congrats on the legal win. Keep revolutionizing the gaming space. This is a massive, massive win. Give PlayStation less operators and apps. I mean, that's what they did to Microsoft, right? So, I mean, it's well within their purview. You can now add keyboard and mouse support on xCloud as promised. And bro, close the deal already. Make Call of Duty have content again. Now it's time to put Diablo into Game Pass to celebrate. I feel sorry for Mike Ybarra, because he is so gonna get it. He is so gonna get it. I think it's time for Phil to take a small vacation. Great victory to you. And all right, so let's now look at Florian Mueller, because he has actually gone through this as well, and let's see how far he's got. We have the decision. FTC lost. Microsoft ABK can close after considering the parties' voluminous pre- and post-hearing writing submissions, and having held a 5-day evidentiary hearing, the court denies the motion for a preliminary injunction. The FTC has not shown. All right, so let's see. This screenshot is from the first page and contains a sentence that says she denies because the FTC has not been able to show a likelihood of success on any one of its theories. 4 weeks ago, the FTC filed this action to preliminarily enjoin the merger pending completion of the FTC administrative action. Because the merger has a July 18 termination date, expedited proceedings were commenced after considering the parties' voluminous pre- and post-hearing writing submissions, and having held a 5-day evidentiary hearing, the court denies the motion for preliminary injunction. The FTC has not shown it is likely to succeed on its assertion, and combined firm will probably pull Call of Duty from Sony PlayStation. They couldn't prove that they'd likely do that, or that its ownership of Activision content will substantially lessen competition. It won't. And the FTC was saying, well, what if they, players go from PlayStation to Xbox and play the game on Game Pass? That's going to damage Sony's market share. My dude, that is competition. That right there is competition. FTC, what are you doing? You should be shut down with the way you've handled this case. Competition in the video game library, subscription, and cloud gaming markets. She pretty much wiped them clean with that statement, and they have basically been washed out. They were hung out to dry. And this one statement here pretty much confirmed that they lost on every single count that they put forward to Judge Corley. There's a 53-page document that he's studying at the moment. We may have to do a second Twitter space, he says, and that's going to be interesting. I'll probably listen in on that. I said before that she does not have to wait until the end of trading hours, especially since the decision was one that was widely expected. And to be fair with Florian Milner, to all of those people that doubted him, I think you've got egg on your face, because this guy was so adamant, so persistent, so 100% that this was not going to fail. Even in his Twitter spaces, he was telling people to calm down, relax, chill, and people were laughing at him, mocking him. I mean, generally PlayStation owners, and basically being absolutely disgustingly horrible to him because he genuinely believed that this deal would go through, regardless of his ties to Microsoft or not. All he was doing was reporting the facts and providing a legal understanding for those people around him that basically didn't fully grasp what the legal proceedings were. And he was being treated like an outcast. He was kicked out of etc. everywhere. Now those people that actually, were treating him like this, I'm really happy that this went through. I'm really happy. Good. You got egg on your face. Good. The TRO does not go into the new week. Expires by the end of Friday. Holy damn. Unless the appeals court blocks the deal, Judge Corley exercised her discretion to modify. I just said an hour or so ago in the Twitter space, and also yesterday, that she can shorten the cooldown period, and she has just done that. And as you can see here, the court modifies its temporary restraining order such that the temporary restraining order will dissolve at 11:59 p.m. on July 14th, which is just a couple days away, 2023, unless the FTC obtains a stay pending appeal from 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. Where's my little tool? Oh, here it is. This opinion is filed under seal. At the same time it is filed, the court will file a redacted version under seal. In an abundance of caution, it is overly redacted. The parties shall meet and confer with the non-parties and on or before July 18, submit a new proposal redacted version of its opinion. We have here, I don't think the appeals court will block the deal, but it'll take a more specific position on that after I've read the ruling as a whole. If the court was the final decision maker on the merits, it would likely find Nintendo Switch part of the relevant market, but she then explains that is not even the standard. It's sufficient for the console theory to die that the FTC failed to show why to exclude Switch. She does not, however, include gaming PCs in the console market definition. I'm a bit surprised at that because I think, well, I guess it's not a console market, right? PCs aren't console, so I can understand that. But they are high definition gaming, but they're not console gaming. She did appear somewhat receptive to the idea at the hearing, but apparently the FTC has convinced her that legally she can't include PCs in the definition because different kind of product. I can see that. But the FTC also said that PCs were not high definition gaming, which is not true. They are way more high definition than consoles could ever be. The order is dated July 10, but the public redacted version came out today, so it's possible, but far from certain, that the FTC and Microsoft and Activision got it late yesterday, which is exactly what I was saying, right? That is exactly what I was saying in my last video with the reveal of Diablo coming to Game Pass by the Brazilian thing. They would have got it earlier because it would have been notified to them. And I guess the Brazilians basically, got a bit trigger happy and published it. And obviously Mike Ibarra then had to come out and, because it wasn't public knowledge yet, say it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, he's going to get a lot of backlash now with people laughing at him and mocking him, saying it is going to happen because he's no longer in charge. And well, it was a horrible situation for him, and I wish him the best. And if anyone is watching this, be nice. Don't be an asshole to him. He's only doing what he legally had to do. So the order is that the Microsoft and Activision got it late yesterday and were told that the public redacted version was coming this morning by California time. There's a long redacted passage after a mention of Sony's use of market power when it does partial exclusivity deals with third-party game makers. Some of that may come back to haunt Sony for years. In addition to exclusivity, Sony also uses its market power to extract other preferential treatment from third-party game developers, including earlier release dates, exclusive marketing agreements, the 1-year exclusivity deals that they do. This has come back to bitch slap them. And exclusive in-game content. Call of Duty says, hello. Indeed, the only Activision titles made available on multi-game subscription services have been back catalog games offered for a limited period of time, often for promotional purposes, rather than new games made available day and date. That is the key, right? That was always the key, day and date. This is how the part on cloud gaming subscription services begin. Cloud gaming, also known as cloud game streaming, is a potential alternative delivery mechanism to downloading native games for play onto hardware. A hole-in-one, sudden death of the theory of harm. It's not a separate market. She has basically said it is an alternate delivery mechanism, which basically means it is not a separate market. Now, taking this into consideration, if this case is this ruling is gonna have any precedential value going into the CMA's CAT tribunal, this alone will throw the CMA's complete argument about cloud gaming being a separate market out the complete window. This right here, this ruling right here, will throw it out the window. And as we know, precedents are really important when it comes to law. While the CAT tribunal will make its own independent determination, this finding from the US after a 5-day evidentiary hearing is going to make the CAT even more comfortable with the concerns Mr. Justice Marcus Smith already voiced at the initial CMC. Cloud gaming, also known as cloud gaming, is a potential alternative delivery mechanism to downloading native games for play onto hardware. So that is what they said. So it's just going to make it even easier now when the US has already agreed that this is the way the market should be defined. However, as a result of technical limitations, a large majority of Xbox cloud gaming users report relying on service primarily to play a game while it is being downloaded to play natively on Xbox. Bond and Spencer testimony confirmed by economic expert Dr. Bailey, who was absolutely amazing on the day. Telemetry data show xCloud is largely used to play one game they never had played before and not playing it ever again, which is exactly consistent with gamers using xCloud while the game downloads. Also, the fact that with the Game Pass rewards, Xbox rewards or Microsoft rewards, whatever they're called, if you play a game on cloud, you get points. So people signed in, spent 10 minutes, and then signed out. The screenshot shows that testimony by Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer was really helpful. By contrast, Jim Ryan didn't go there, and his internal email from January 22 showed he wasn't genuinely concerned about COD-related foreclosure. That email that he sent that was internally revealed pretty much killed it for Jim Ryan. He basically said, I'm not concerned about Call of Duty. It's not going to be a problem. They won't take it off us. I'm not concerned one bit. And so what are you crying for then? Microsoft executives have nonetheless committed publicly and under oath in court to continue to sell Call of Duty to Sony, as Phil Spencer did. Let me ask you here today, Mr. Nadella, will you commit to continuing to ship Call of Duty onto PlayStation? 100%. My commitment is, and my testimony is, to use that word, that we will continue to ship future versions of Call of Duty on Sony PlayStation's platform. That's it. And that was under oath. And that was enough for the Judge Corley to be satisfied that whatever the FTC came up with, they might pull it off and they might do this and they might do that. It's not going to happen. Although the agreement allows either party to terminate the merger agreement if the transaction has not closed by the July 18, 2023, and appears to obligate Microsoft to pay to Activision a termination fee of $3 billion, the FTC did not file PI motion until June 12, 2023. Interesting revelation, Microsoft opposed a TRO in California, but would have stipulated to one in the District of Columbia. So it was actually the FTC that wanted to go to Judge Corley, and Microsoft preferred the District of Columbia. I'll explain. The FTC filed an emergency motion for a temporary restraining order, with their complaint arguing Microsoft intended to proceed with the merger as soon as June 16, 2023, which is what we said. They forced the FTC's hand to apply for a TRO and would not stipulate to a TRO unless the FTC filed in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia rather than the Northern District of California, where the FTC indicated it intended to file because this court was already overseeing the Martini action. Although the agreement allows either party to terminate the merger, no wait, we've done that bit. I don't think it means that Microsoft didn't trust Judge Corley, but it also means that the FTC did not have a problem with Judge Corley. They actually believed that Judge Corley would vote in their favor, and instead they got a wet fish across their face. I suspect Microsoft's motion is about case law in the DC district and the DC circuit. I'll say more in the Twitter space. The court accepts the combined firm would have the ability to foreclose because it would own the Call of Duty franchise, but the decision makes it clear the ability is not enough. The fact that they can do it is not enough. Though FTC makes it sound like it, incentive is also key. Can you look? We all know that Sony PlayStation has the majority of the player base, right? Why would you take a game like Call of Duty, which earns $1 billion in a week, away from the biggest market share? Considering if the game is going to go on Game Pass eventually, you're only going to make subscription money off that. You're not making box or digital sales off that. You want that to be on PlayStation, on PC, on Switch. You want that everywhere to capitalize on that money. Quotes Jim Ryan, "It's not an Xbox exclusivity play at all. They're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I've spent a fair bit of time with both Phil and Bobby over the past day. Pretty sure COD on PlayStation for many years to come." He was never worried about this. He just wanted to block the deal. There's no internal documents, emails, or chats contradicting Microsoft's stated intent not to make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox console. Despite the completion of extensive discovery, nearly 1 million documents and 30 depositions. And that's where this ends. Now, I may make a follow-up video that continues from 23X, but all in all, this is a big day, a big win for Microsoft. This basically means that by Friday, they can close. The FTC has lost. Lena Khan is being investigated by Congress. And, you know, considering she's basically punching above her weight, trying to take the law into her own hands, bending the legal remits of the law to suit her needs. And despite multiple people in her team telling her that what she's doing is basically outside the rule of law, she didn't care. She still wanted to do what she wanted to do because of her agenda to do whatever she needed to do. And in my opinion, that's finally come back to sting her. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I am going to make a separate follow-up video as there is going to be a lot more information coming from that document that Florian is going through. And I'm hoping that we can get a bit more information. But the gist of it is done. The FTC has lost. And with that, Microsoft can close pending the appeal. It's done. On to the CMA. And with the market definition for cloud going out the window, and if the CAT Tribunal accepts the ruling by Judge Corley regarding the cloud definition for market being a delivery mechanism and not a separate market, that throws the CMA's complete case out the window. Complete. Because that is literally all they've got to go for. And that will throw that out the window as well. Well, that's it for this video. It's been 20 minutes. I'm going to call it there. Like I said, expect a follow-up video. Do consider leaving a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Remain legend.